Hello, dreamers. Welcome to Not So Average with Shon Wilson. I am your host, Shon Wilson. No, I didn't forget who I am. I just was sitting there thinking to myself, do I want to redo that hello, dreamers, or is it fine? And then I was like, you know what? It's fine. You said hello. You said dreamers. What else do you want? Perfectionist is in my head today. Anyway, welcome to Not So Average with Shon Wilson. I am your host, Shon Wilson. I'm an actress in Hollywood, and I make content dedicated to helping you pursue your dreams. Now, when I say helping, I don't really mean it. I'm not about to hold your hand. I'm not about to introduce you to people. I'm not about to open doors. What I really mean is I encourage you to do it because I feel very strongly that there are a lot of people in our world who would be happier if they felt they had the right to pursue their dreams. And they don't feel the right sometimes because no one has encouraged them to do so. We have a society that overvalues work ethic. Yeah, I said it, overvalues work ethic. You can call me lazy if you want. You won't be the first, but you'll be just as wrong as they were. Hey guys, it's Shon. Remember to comment, follow, and share. Here's what I learned as I got older. There's effort and there's surrender. And you need both in order to achieve something. But we have a culture, particularly here in America, that pushes. I mean, shoot, we saw what happened during the George W. Bush years, and no, this is not a political podcast, so don't nobody say nothing political to me in the comments. Who am I kidding? Y'all don't talk in the comments at all. Anyway, we saw what happened in those years when teachers were encouraged to, not even encouraged, mandated to teach to the test. Traditional schools have always been focused on outcome. Again, here in America, I can only speak to the American scholarly experience because I've only ever been in America. An American. I have never studied anywhere else. But here, in the years since I was born, the focus has been in traditional school systems, outcome. It used to be repetition and regurgitation, right? They tell you what things to know, you memorize them, and you prove how smart you are by answering a bunch of questions once a week or once every quarter or whatever, proving that you remembered that thing they made you learn. I don't inherently think that that's wrong, but I do think that's only part of the learning experience. In fact, I personally have come to believe, since growing up and being introduced to philosophies from East Asia, particularly Taoism and some Buddhism, but I really just believe that we need to focus less on outcome. And this is why I start every episode of Not So Average with, I'm an actress in Hollywood and I make content dedicated to encouraging you to pursue your dreams. Sometimes I have not said pursue, but have mistakenly said achieve. And every time I've done that, I immediately correct it. And as I've mentioned in those times, I correct it because I don't think the focus should be on achievement. We don't have any control over whether or not we achieve something. We have control over whether or not we try to achieve something and the quality of effort we bring to that attempt. But what happens in the end doesn't rest solely on our shoulders. There are other factors at play. And unfortunately, in my opinion, particularly in the last decade, 15 years maybe, there's been so much content and so many books written about achieving, the way to achieve, the way to reach goals, the way to hustle. We have hustle culture, we have flex culture, we have all these things that make us focus on outcome. And everybody who writes a book or has a podcast or produces other types of content, has a blog surrounding, speaking on these things, they all tell you how if you do blah, 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 then you are going to achieve your goals. If you don't do blah, 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 you are never going to achieve your goals. And that shit just ain't true. Okay? It's more a combination of if you do blah blah and don't do blah blah, but do blah blah and maybe not so much blah blah, you might achieve your goals. Because there are things that are outside our control. In some cases, it's the opportunities that come your way. In some cases, it's life events that derail you from what you were trying to do. In some cases, it's literally just not meant for you. In some cases, you might have a very strong desire to do something, but it is not within your actual skill set. In some cases, we have a dynamic change in our society. We saw this with the financial crash of 2008, right? How about this? How about pandemic? How about people who had worked their whole lives, in some cases saved up their money for a long time before opening their business, and they finally got all of the ducks in a row. I mean, every duck was in a row. And so they finally get this opportunity to start the business that they wanted to start, or maybe go on a trip that they wanted to go on. And then the fucking pandemic turns everything on its ear. And that brand new business didn't even get a true shot. It shut down very quickly, particularly if it was like a food service business. Come on, y'all. Because customers couldn't go to that business. They couldn't patronize that business. Now, of course, yes, we all know we saw other kinds of businesses boom during that time, but there are those for which that was not the case because of the type of business that they were. Or if you're one of those people who had saved up forever and finally got a chance to go on a trip, and you went to a country that when it became clear to us as a world how bad the pandemic was, that country went on lockdown, and then you couldn't come home, that vacation that you planned for, that trip that you planned for, that excursion that you planned for, it did not go the way that you thought it was going to go. It didn't feel as good as you thought it was going to feel. You didn't get to do, experience, or see the things that you went there to do, experience, and see. And this was through no fault of your own. In fact, in the case of pandemic, I tend to say it was nobody's fault. Though I do know that there are many finger pointers in the world that have to blame somebody for everything. So, have at it, Hoss. If that's what you need to do, if it gives you peace at night, knock yourself out. But life is just life. Some of you guys know that I have recently developed a very strong interest in tarot and have been learning how to read tarot cards. And there is a card in the tarot deck called Wheel of Fortune. It's number 10 in the major arcana. I just wanted to throw those words at y'all so you could know I knew what I was talking about. I know a lot of you probably don't. And I'm not going to sit here and explain it because this isn't a podcast right now, today, this moment on this episode about tarot, but it's probably coming. The Wheel of Fortune card, I have observed many tarot readers attribute it to being a good luck card. And if you do research on that card, the truth of it is a your luck will change card. It's more along the lines of what goes up must come down. Sometimes things are working in your favor and sometimes they are not. And that's just the turn of the wheel. That's just life. Things happen. And it's nobody's fault. That's just life. So I say all of that to say this. I want to encourage you to replace the need to achieve with the desire to explore and experience. I feel very strongly that if you focus on exploring whatever it is you have an interest in, that is going to bring you joy. That is going to light you up. That is going to make your heart soar, your head sing. It's going to make people like being around you, unless you talk about it too much. I have a tendency to talk about things I'm in love with a lot, and Justin doesn't love it. And I remind him that communication is one of my strongest skills. And if he don't like it, he need a different girlfriend. But anyway, as usual, I digress. My point is this. If you focus on exploring something, your mind is open and you learn as you go. You acquire more about it as you go. You ingest it more. It becomes more you, I think. You vibrate with it because you have no resistance to it. When you are trying to achieve that same thing, you have a specific goal in mind, which focuses your mind. And I'm not saying focus isn't a good thing. Focus is a necessary thing in life. But there are different types of focus, different qualities of focus that we can bring to a thing. And when we're thinking about achieving a goal or achieving a dream, we do this kind of focus a lot of times that it's a locked, tense energy. And in some people's cases, it's also an obsessive energy. And that lends itself to being frustrated when things are not going the way you hope they would. And now the experience of trying to achieve that dream has taken the joy out of it. And this doesn't just apply to dreams. This is also applicable to any activity that you are undertaking. When you approach it with too much tension, it doesn't flow as easily for you as it does when you do it with what we call in acting relaxed readiness. So I want to encourage you to approach whatever interests you have with the intention to explore it to its fullest. The other benefit to exploring it, approaching it from a place of I'm exploring this, is, well, one, it gives you the option to stop exploring at any time. And you guys know I talk about that a lot, allowing yourself giving yourself the opportunity to quit if you find something is not fitting you. So you get to, I feel like when we say we're trying to achieve something, or that we're going to achieve something, particularly if we've told other people, we feel like we have to keep going until we've done it. Whereas if you say to others, but more importantly to yourself, that you're exploring something, that just means you're curious about it. And you're not necessarily married to that thing. And you don't feel the same kind of pressure to have a favorable outcome. Because there's going to be some outcome. It could just be that you learn something. It could be that the outcome is failure. No one wants to feel like a failure or feel like they're having failures. But guys, it's just part of life. And trying to avoid failing definitely makes you approach things with the wrong energy. And definitely takes some of the joy, if not all of the joy, out of the experience. And speaking of experience, that's the other word that I would like you to focus on when you think about your dream. Just allowing yourself to have the experience, regardless of what happens. Explore and experience are more fun than achieve. And I say that as someone who has been a super achiever since 2004, until I came to Los Angeles. And Los Angeles said, nope. Los Angeles gives me some of what I want, some of why I came here, 3,000 miles away from my family and the best coast. But yeah, I said it. Gauntlet thrown. East Coast is the best coast. Why? Because we were the original 13. You would have no America if it wasn't for us. But again, I digress. God, I just have so much East Coast pride. And I specifically have Southern pride, which might seem weird given that I'm a Black female. But, you know, I love my home. Oh, shoot. What was I talking about? Yes. Los Angeles gives me some of what I came here for, but it by no means has given me enough of what I came here for me to feel like an achiever here. So I could have crumpled up and died. And, maybe there were times when it looked like that's what I was doing. You'd have to ask Justin. He won't answer you. But, if you ask him in the comments, because he listens to all of these, actually, you know what? In writing, he will answer you. Yeah, he'll answer. And this is not just my surreptitious way of trying to get you guys to talk in the comments, though it does help the show. I didn't just crumple up and die. I had to redefine for myself what it meant for me to be here. I had to find new reasons to be not just happy with, but at peace with being here. And then find ways to enjoy being here. And so I had to let go. And I haven't done it perfectly, because if I sat here and pretended like I've done it perfectly, someone would call bullshit quickly. Okay? I haven't completely let go of what I came here to achieve. I absolutely still want to achieve that goal. But when I open myself to exploring and just experiencing what it means to be an actress in Hollywood, which is a very different thing than being an actress in Charlotte, North Carolina, I have more fun. I meet more people. I click with people more. I don't feel longing for home. I don't feel resentment. I don't feel stress. Well, except for PMS week. Ooh, do I turn into a monster that week? And then everything is about, oh my God, my life is awful. I can't do it. Or not, I can't do it. I never say I can't do it. I tend to be more along the lines of, why aren't they giving it to me? Because I'm an entitled bitch. But anyway. Anyway, my point is this, you guys. You will have so much more fun with whatever it is you are doing if you go towards it with an open mind and an open heart. And that allows you to be curious about it instead of having a fixed idea. Because if the reality of the situation doesn't match with your fixed idea, you're going to have frustration, you're going to have anger, you might have despondency. You will do one of two things. You will either quit and not continue to experience that thing that you've wanted for yourself, or you will push yourself even harder to try to make it work. And now it feels like shit. And if the thing is a dream and not a dream connected to a career goal, it shouldn't feel like shit. And it shouldn't feel like work. It should be fun. It should be exploration. It should lift you up and bring you joy. But you got to open yourself up to having the experience. And here's the part about that is hard. Having the experience, no matter what that experience is. Because life is good and bad. It's light and dark. It's yin and yang. So if you have the experience with your open mind and your open heart, and it feels bad to you, determine for yourself how much of that bad you're willing to feel and for how long. And then, if you need to, for your own sanity or safety, peace of mind, return to joy, rebalance, whatever the thing is, let yourself quit. Let yourself quit. Let yourself move on. Because this is your life. And you want to be in alignment in your life. You want to feel good in your life. Let yourself move on. And hey, it can be a situation where you move on from it. And then, of course, everybody says this. And then you find something better. When God closes a door, he opens a window. I don't know that God gives a shit about your doors or your windows. I just don't see deities that way. But hey, that's me. That's me. But it could also be that you quit and you leave it alone for a while and you go on about your life and you rebalance and you do other things that you enjoy or tend to other responsibilities that you have. And then the interest gets rekindled in you to that first thing because you gave it some breathing space. You gave it some time to not be a taskmaster to your life, to not force every decision that you make. Because again, when we're trying to achieve something, everything in our lives gets processed through the lens of the desire to achieve that thing. Everything gets filtered through that. And the way we frame our experience of life is directly being colored by the desire, the need, the drive to achieve. And hey, if it's going well for you, that feels great, right? And you're flying high and everything's wonderful. But let me be your cautionary tale. Excuse the siren in the background. I live in Los Angeles, a suburb of Los Angeles called Glendale, and we constantly have fire trucks. I don't know who's setting all these fires, but I sure do wish that the criminal minds people will come and capture them soon. And yes, I'm joking. I know that the criminal minds people are not really FBI specialists. Okay, so I was talking about, I don't even know. What was I talking about? I don't know. Something about pursuing dreams, right? Oh yeah, when everything is going, when the achievement is happening, when you're achieving the thing that you're trying to do and it's going well and you're flying high, that feels amazing. And you feel unstoppable. And, I don't know about you, but for me, I can become a little bit arrogant, And I mean arrogant in the sense that I forget that there were other factors at play that helped me achieve that thing. I start to think about, there's this phrase, he's smelling himself. That's me. I become that person that thinks I did it all. I don't think I have a God complex, but I do have my moon in Leo, and Leo's a fire sign and the star of the zodiac, though technically Aquarius is the star of the zodiac, and my sun sign is Aquarius. So I got two signs inside of me that make me think I'm the shit. So when everything is working out for me, I think it's because of me. And you might be like that too. And the danger of that is that when things stop working, or if things stop working, more than likely, if you're like me, you think that's because of you too. And that is damaging to the self-perception. And in some cases, it can make us dig in our heels even deeper and try even harder for something that we need to let go of, if even for just a little while. But I present to you today the hypothesis that if you go into a situation with the intention of exploring and just having the experience, you won't have that same kind of imbalance that skews towards negative. I'm not saying that right, but what I'm trying to say is I think that you will process all of what occurs from a more positive place. I would bet my firstborn child on that. And given that I'm 47, good luck to you guys getting that firstborn child from me. Okay, you guys, that's what I have for the day. Thank you for listening. This episode ends season 2 of Not So Average with Shon Wilson. Again, I want to thank you for being here, whether this is your first time or you're someone who's been with me since the beginning of the journey. If this is your first episode, please be sure to check out the rest of them. I think you'll like it. If you haven't already done so, subscribe on the platform where you are listening. Be sure to share it with other people who you think would benefit from this content. And I ask you again, comment if there's something you want to tell me about what you heard today. I would love to know how this is affecting you, helping you, encouraging you. Yeah, I like that better. I would love, or if it's angering you and you want to tell me off, do that. But just make sure you do it in the comments, okay? Because see, those comments, they help get the podcast out there. It lets the platform that you're listening on know that people are interested in this material. I'm going to wrap it up now. It is Saturday afternoon, and I'm going to hang out with my dude. So, oh, yes, and it's December. So I will be taking a 3-week hiatus to enjoy the holidays with my family and to get a little bit of a break. When we come back, we'll be in season 3 with brand new topics of conversation. This is Not So Average with Shon Wilson. I am she, that is he, that is her. That is how I say it, right? No. I go, I am she, that is her, that is me. Oh, you guys. Thank you for being here. I will see you next year. Bye. Aren't my theme songs fun? I found them at Purple Planet Music. You can find music for your projects there too. Just go to purple-planet.com.